Hey everyone, it is Miss Lauren, and I am here to bring us what was called flower jewelry dishes, but I couldn't find any jewelry dishes, so I'm using this mug. But they're as long as you use something ceramic, you will be totally fine. So what we need today are some paintbrushes. I'm going to use two different kinds of paintbrushes, and obviously some paint, and then I have my water here, and in here I have rubbing alcohol that we are going to use in a little bit, and we're going to make some really fun patterns on our really cool flower. So I'm going to start off with purple. And as you can see today, I am using a paper towel because, it could get a little bit messy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip my paintbrush into my purple, and I am going to start painting flower petals. And what I hope this turns out looking like is just a big flower in itself. So this is our first little petal, and we are going to go around and just do that all around. And you know what? I think I might make the handle green. So we've got two flower petals, and we're going to make another one over here. And I'm sure everybody watching this is a far better painter than I am. So we've got those. We're going to paint the bottom as well. It kind of looks pretty good. It's like a little flower. So we're going to dip that in again. And we are going to just keep painting. And we're going to go all the way around so that our flower looks beautiful. And I think we might go over it once more once things kind of start to dry. This paint is pretty fast drying, which is nice. Oh, I got some on my fingers. Whatever. It's fine, right? We're all just doing the best we can in this here world. And we're gonna do one more over here. So it kind of looks like a flower. Whenever I'm making these videos, my computer decides it wants to, send me a million notifications. So yes, we are going to go over this again just to make it a little bit darker so that you can actually see what the rubbing alcohol is going to do for it. It is hopefully going to make us some super unique patterns on our mugs, our jewelry dishes, our plates, our coasters, whatever we decide, whatever ceramic we decide we are going to paint at your house. So I bought these paints a couple weeks ago when we started doing Crafty Mondays on our YouTube and Facebook page, and they have just come in so much handy. I've been painting more than I have ever painted in my entire life. And you know what? I love it. And I may not be the best at it, but like I said, we're all just doing the best we can. Okay, and then our last little guy here. So here's our little flower. I think this looks really good, and if you guys do this on your plates or anything, let me see, because I am definitely eager to see how everyone is doing. Okay, and here comes the fun part. So I'm going to take a smaller brush, and I'm going to dip it into the rubbing alcohol so that it kind of is a little bit of a dot. So do you guys see what it's doing? It's kind of taking off the paint that I did. So we're going to make some really cool patterns that way. See, like that. And we're going to go over here too and do it over here. Just to make it, kind of unique and special, just like flowers really are. This rubbing alcohol is going to take off the paint. Goodness gracious. And then it's just going to be really unique little patterns, I think. It almost looks like an Easter egg. This is why I went through it to make it darker, so that you can see where we are using the rubbing alcohol. And you can even use rubbing alcohol and make kind of a marble-ish print. I think that would be super pretty. Or you can paint the entire mug or plate or coaster, whatever you're using, and just do these kinds of patterns on it like that. It doesn't have to be a flower, even though it's called flower painting. So what do you guys think? I think that looks pretty interesting. So we've got things like that we're doing with our flower. And it kind of makes it gets your own unique spin on it, you know? And I like that a lot. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to paint a stem onto our flower. I'm going to paint the handle green. I'm going to use a different paintbrush. And then I'm going to put some fun patterns on the handle, I think. And then after this, I'm not going to show you guys, but I will definitely put it in the instructions. After everything is painted, you are going to want to bake it in your oven. So I will put those instructions on the video, or on the link to the video as well. And that way, the paint should stay. Even though it is full of rubbing alcohol, it should all stay and be super neat. And that way, I would recommend hand washing your stuff if you're ever going to hand wash it. So if you're using a jewelry dish like we originally intended, you obviously are never going to wash that, or if you do, just be quite careful and use your hands and a sponge, and don't put that sucker in the dishwasher because the paint might run despite it being baked just like any other ceramic. I used to do that all the time, make ceramics like that. Okay, so my stem is all painted, and we are going to use that same little brush in the rubbing alcohol, and we're just gonna do a little bit, just some patterns, some really fun patterns. I'm gonna make it like this. We're gonna do a little loop-de-loop pattern, or a little zigzag. Alright, so we are done with I'm done with my mug, and you guys can do whatever you want, anything as long as it's ceramic, or if you just want to paint with rubbing alcohol and paint on paper, obviously that works too. So let me see, if you guys end up making something, make sure that you take a picture and comment on this video, or send us a message on our Facebook, and I would be so happy to see that. Thank you so much for joining me on flower jewelry dishes, mugs, cakes, kick pins, paper, anything that you want to do. And we will see you next time, and we'll see you at the library so soon. Bye, guys.